Coaches, I'm going to tell you how to organize your football program. Be sure to save and bookmark this video if you don't have time to watch it right now. Listen, one thing you need to realize is that having an organized program is how you attract quality people. Disorganized people, dysfunctional people, negative people, they gravitate towards unorganized programs. They also gravitate towards programs that don't hold them accountable. So number one, the first thing you need to do is make sure you have a set of standards that you, your coaches, your parents, and your players go by. Some people call it a code of conduct. I call it the Warriors way in my program. Having a good code of conduct is going to detract the wrong people and it's going to attract the right people. And if you get the wrong people in your program, guess what? That code of conduct is going to push them out. Number two, and this is a big one, make sure your coaches are on board with your coaching philosophy and your leadership philosophy. The last thing you want to deal with are coaches who are trying to sabotage your program because they don't respect you as a coach or as a leader. And the coaches that has a tendency to disrespect you the most are your buddies. So be mindful of that. Number three, I believe this number three, make sure you have a strong code of conduct for your parents, especially nowadays, because if you don't, these parents will run over you. Make sure you have rules about missing practice. For example, my rule is if little Johnny misses practice, he's going to miss a quarter of the game. If he missed 2 practices in a week, he's going to either miss half of the game or miss the game entirely. That's something that I don't play about. And some parents will try you. They will not bring little Johnny to practice on purpose. They want to see what you're going to do. Little Johnny is going to be sitting on that sideline. And by the way, when you do these code of conducts, make sure each parent signs it. And also send a copy of that code of conduct to your league. Because what a parent will do if they are offended, because what some of these parents will do, they'll go to your league without you knowing it. And they'll try to file a complaint. But if you have that code of conduct in place, you got something to protect you and you got documentation. All right, let's talk about practice structure real quick. When I first started coaching, we practiced like 5 days a week. But the more organized and seasoned I became, we only practiced 3 times a week. We got an offensive day, a defensive day, and a walkthrough day. With each of those days, we also have special teams that we do. You may be thinking, Coach, 3 times a week, that's not enough. This is why I do summer workouts. We do all of our hardcore work in the summertime. So by the time August get here, we're just mastering. This is how you get ahead of the game. And this is another reason why it's so important that your kids show up to practice. If you're only practicing 3 times a week, if you miss offensive day, we're not doing another full-blown day of offense. The only other day of offense you're going to have is our walkthrough and game planning day. And the last thing I want to talk about is communication. Make sure you have a form of communication that works for you. You set the tone with this. Don't let your parents do it. If you're comfortable with texting everybody, create a texting chain. If you're comfortable with getting a communication app, do that. If you're comfortable with just having a Facebook group, do that. But don't let a parent dictate your communication. I did that before and it was all kind of confusion. You set the tone. Remember that, Coach. I hope you got value out of this. If you got any questions, let me know. You're welcome.